What are the real world savings when mining with solar power, and do I even make a profit with the current state of affairs with GPU mining? Well, today I will show you that it can be profitable to mine with solar. So if you are interested in the topic, then let's go. What is up, miners, and welcome back to the 3Fox Company YouTube channel. Quick spoiler alert, my solar system is actually keeping my miners running during these crazy times, and I'm actually getting some yield for free. With the Ethereum merge that happened on September 15th, 2022, it meant that Ethereum no longer became mineable. Ethereum was the bread and butter for the majority of miners, and it left a huge void for any income. As expected, the hash rate had to migrate to other projects, and a rapid decline in mining profitability was sure expected. So, with the aftermath of the ETH merge, GPU miners were not profitable, not even at 5 cents per kilowatt hour for electricity. Luckily for me, I have a solar system installed, and it's currently keeping my farm running. For those of you that didn't see my solar full installation video, I will put a link to it in the card above. Let me give you a short overview of my current solar system. I originally had one 5.5 kilowatt solar array installed that consisted of 16 345 watt solar panels, which are securely mounted to the roof of my house. I only had one bidirectional 220 volt hybrid inverter installed, together with 300 amp hours of lithium battery storage. As my farm expanded over the past few months, I quickly outgrew the system's capability to supply and maintain power to my whole house for mining 24/7, irregardless of utility downtime or not. So the time came for a much needed upgrade. Essentially, I added another solar array, which consisted out of 14 380 watt solar panels. I added another 5 kilowatt parallel inverter, and I doubled my battery storage to 600 amp hours. This brings my total solar PV capacity to 10.84 kilowatts, 10 kilowatts of available power at any given time, and 600 amp hours of battery storage for all the excess solar energy. Now, some might think that I'm crazy to mine during these times, but let me get into the PC and I will show you my strategy for mining and how it enables me to continue mining. So now that we are in Hiveways, I'm on the schedules page. If we just scroll to the bottom and we start from here, you can see that every day at 9 p.m. that's when I stop all my workers. I define the workers by the tags that we insert in the schedule when we create it, and then I created the 4 schedules for starting the miner. So at 8 a.m. I'm starting these 2 miners, so my 6600 XT rig and my tiny rig. I'm starting at 8 a.m. Then my third rig is coming on, my 1666 super rig, on at 8:30 a.m. And then lastly, I'm starting my 3060 and 1660 Ti mixed rig at 9 a.m. This is my solar dashboard, so you can see that I'm currently generating 5 kilowatts of solar energy. My batteries are currently at 91% and I'm still charging at almost 1.2 kilowatts. You can see that I'm taking no energy from the grid and that my whole house is now running on 4 kilowatts of energy. Here I've got some historical data which says for today I generated about 58 kilowatt hours of energy. For the month, almost 1,300, and in total on this system I've generated 14,100 kilowatt hours of solar energy. We scroll down to the graph that we can see here, so I'll just clean this up a little bit, remove the battery. So as you can see, at about 7 o'clock in the morning, that is where my solar production exceeds the load, and that's actually when I start charging the battery. So then you can see aroundly about 8 o'clock in the morning, that's when I start my first rig. At about 8:30, that's when I start the second rig, and then 8:40, that's where I started the third rig, and at 9 o'clock, that's when I'm running full production on my solar farm. You can see during the day that the state of charge, the blue line, is gradually increasing as I'm charging my batteries. As long as the green graph, the solar production, stays above the load, which is the red graph, then it means I'm making more power than I'm actually using. and that is the time that I'm using to charge my batteries so that I can use it at nighttime. So then, as you see during the day, when I reach the peak and the solar production starts coming down, the moment that the solar production dips below the red graph, which is the load, that's when you can see the blue line, the state of charge of the battery is actually starting to discharge the battery. And then I've got a set point set of a state of charge of 30% on the battery minimum that I want to run. So then by 9 p.m. that's when I stop my miners, and then I just preserve the rest of the battery for the night in case we have a utility downtime. If we look at the daily production and usage values on this bar graph, you can see this represents the day of the month. So this was the 8th of September, the 9th of September, 10th of September. So you can see that my solar production was 63, almost 64 kilowatt hours for the day. The load, so the actual usage, was almost 110 kilowatt hours for the day, and I've imported 58 kilowatt hours from the grid. On the 9th, the solar production again was about 65 kilowatt hours. I used about 117 kilowatt hours, and I only imported 59 kilowatt hours from the grid. Then if we go fast forward and you see on the 15th when the merge happened, it says there I got about the same values. And then the next day I did an experiment where I ran only during the daytime, and here you can see that I produced 56 kilowatt hours for the day. My load was only 75 kilowatt hours for the day, and I only imported 23 kilowatt hours from the grid for that day. The following 2 days I tried to run a little bit longer, so as you can see the usage were a little bit more, but then from the 19th you can see that it is fairly consistent. The amount of solar that I was producing, the load that I was using, and the amount of electricity that I was importing from the grid. This last few days we had a little bit of overcast, so to be expected I created less solar energy. So just to take you through it quickly, you can see the solar production was 61 kilowatt hours, the load was almost 75 kilowatt, and I only imported 17.5 kilowatt hours from the grid. The same as yesterday, I produced 49 kilowatt hours of solar energy. My load was 65 kilowatt hours, and I only imported 21.7 kilowatt hours from the grid. Just to put it into perspective, I'm not paying for any electrical energy that I'm spending on my mining activities. And as you can see, this 15 to 25 kilowatt hours per day that I'm using is my household usage. As you can see, I am still making a profit, although it's very small when compared to previous Ethereum profits, but I'm yielding coins every day. Are you mining with any form of renewable energy? And how has your experience been so far? Please let me know in the comments below. Until the hash rate across all the coins find an equilibrium, which will provide stable profits, I will continue to mine with this strategy as it makes the most sense for my situation. Should you go out and buy a solar system to start mining again? Well, probably not if you only want to mine with it, but it all depends on your financial situation and goals that you have in mind for the long term. Remember, a proper solar installation can be a significant financial investment, and the ROI could be very long, so do your homework and make sound decisions. Now, if you want to see how I built my mining garage, then check out this video next. And as always, stay safe, stay healthy, and I will see you in the next video.